I'm often asked this question, Wesley, what are some of the best places to live in Cleveland? Now that's a fairly loaded question, and I usually fire back with a few questions of my own to find out what they're really asking about. But I'd say most of the time they're asking me about a few cities by name. Now, one of the cities that almost always comes up is Lakewood. And if I were to describe Lakewood to someone in one word, I'd probably use the word diverse. But that might not mean what you're thinking. So stay tuned and I'll tell you all about the 5 things you need to know about Lakewood, and maybe one thing that might make you run far, far away. Wesley Croft with the Rooted Real Estate Group right here in the Cleveland area. And if this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything about living, working, playing, eating, sleeping right here in the Cleveland area, yes, and even in Lakewood, make sure you tap the subscribe button and hit the little bell so you're notified every time I do a new video like this. And I get phone calls, emails, text messages every day from people who are moving from within Cleveland or relocating to the Cleveland area, and I absolutely love it. So if that's you and you're thinking of making a move, make sure you reach out to me, call me, send me an email, shoot me a text. I've got your back when you're moving to the Cleveland area. So the first thing that you need to know about Lakewood, and maybe the most obvious one if you're looking at a map, is the location. Now I hear people saying all the time that location is one of the most important things to them when they're looking for a new place to live. Now if you're looking for a place with easy access to the interstate, easy access to downtown, easy access that all the east side of Cleveland has to offer, and easy access to the western suburbs, then Lakewood is your place. Now, speaking of suburbs, it's the first official western suburb as you're leaving Cleveland proper. I know people that live in Lakewood, and location is the first thing many of them mention when I ask them why they like Lakewood so much. And speaking of location, I know that I have a lot of folks that watch this channel that like the metro parks like me. And if you look on a map at the far west side of Lakewood, guess what you'll find? Yep, that's right, a metro park. Now, speaking of parks, and this is number 2 on my list of things that you need to know about Lakewood, is you need to know about Lakewood Park. Now, you'll find this 31-acre park just off Lake Avenue, right by Lake Erie in central Lakewood. Now, if going to the park is your thing, you'll find just about everything that you need here. Now there's a pool to cool you off in the summer months after you play sand volleyball on one of the 3 courts that they have. There's a large playground for kids that they just recently renovated. You can catch a concert at Lakewood Park Bandstand. You can walk across the lakefront promenade and catch a view of the lake in downtown Cleveland. And if softball is your thing, there are 2 softball fields. If skating is your thing, there's a skate park there where you can show off all of your tricks or whatever on your skateboard. And how can we talk about Lakewood Park and not mention the Solstice steps? Now, built back in 2015, these steps sort of resemble concrete bleachers. They run along about 480 feet of shoreline. There's about 36 feet of elevation there, so there's plenty of room for a lot of different folks to enjoy a Lake Erie sunset together. So I mentioned earlier that I thought a perfect word to describe Lakewood would be diversity, and I really mean that. So the third thing that you need to know about Lakewood is how diverse the food scene is here. Now I have people telling me all the time, Wesley, you should try such and such a restaurant, it just opened, it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Just a quick internet search will bring up just about every sort of food genre that you could imagine. Now these aren't your typical chain restaurants, although Lakewood has those to be sure. But let's just see. There are cafes where you can just get a sandwich. There are coffee shops. There's farm-to-table restaurants, Mediterranean, Hispanic, Thai, American diners, pizza, upscale Italian, barbecue, sushi. There's wine bars, there's gaming bars, there's upscale dining galore, right? There's tap rooms, you name it, Lakewood has it. Now, if you need a good recommendation, let me know and I'll send you some suggestions. And I'll talk a little bit more about Lakewood diversity in a second. Now remember, stick around until the end and I'll share you one thing that might make you reconsider moving to Lakewood. All right, number 4 on my list of things you need to know about Lakewood would be you need to know about the Lakewood Library. Now, first of all, did you know that the Lakewood Library has been around for over 100 years? Now that was a new one for me. Now, the library has two locations, one being right on Detroit Avenue, and the other location is over on Madison Avenue. Now, beyond the normal things that you can do at the library, such as checking out books and those sorts of things, the main library on Detroit also offers some really interesting things. Now, did you know that they offer a homebound delivery program? Now, this is just one of the ways the library is thinking outside the box to get books into the hands of people that need them. Now, they also offer computers for public use, as well as the ability to have someone sit with you for a one-on-one coaching session on how to use technology to help you explore for employment. Oh, side note, I actually personally use this library even though I don't live in Lakewood. It's that good. So stay tuned for another video on this channel going into greater detail about this super awesome place. Okay, so number 5 on my list of things you need to know about Lakewood, and that's about the housing diversity. Now, this is a little bit of a controversial topic, but I'll see if we can keep it in between the lines. When I say diverse, what I'm talking about is the wide variety of housing options. Now, you can rent and you can own, sure, but what types of housing are available in Lakewood? I'm glad you asked. First off, there are an abundance of multifamily homes. And actually, according to niche.com, 57% of the people that live in Lakewood actually rent. Now, they're renting anything from a unit in a multifamily property to a single family home to one of the condos that can be found over on the lakefront. For single family homes, there really is a wide variety of what you can find. There are smaller single family homes to the larger sprawling lakefront properties, to penthouse condos with sweeping views of the lake. Now, if you're looking to move to Lakewood and you're wondering, well, if you can find what you're looking for, then the answer is a resounding yes. There's more than enough options for the style of home that you're looking for if you're wanting to move to Lakewood. Now, I mentioned at the beginning of the video that I'd say a little something about Lakewood that might make you run far, far away, and that's this. If you're looking for a place with a large yard, Lakewood will not be the place for you. I was talking to someone just today that mentioned to me they were living in Lakewood growing up, and then once their parents had another kid, they felt like they had to leave and move because it felt like the yard just shrank overnight. So unless you're living in one of the larger homes closer to the lake and you're more centralized in Lakewood, you'll have a really tough time finding that typical suburban yard. Now, that's not to say that even those larger homes in northern Lakewood are going to have some gigantic yard, but you'll have better luck up there than you would if you're centrally located in Lakewood. I hope this was helpful to you as you consider all the different areas in Cleveland. Stay tuned for more Lakewood videos in the future. And if you find this content helpful on your journey to explore more of Cleveland, make sure to hit the subscribe button and tap the little bell so you're notified every time I do a video like this. And if you've got any questions, as always, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. I would love, love, love to be a resource for you. Take care.